Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. It's in the description below. Your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see here on Watchbox Reviews or our website. Email me at tmosso@thewatchbox.com. And today we're discussing the post-2016 Omega Seamaster Planet Ocean, 43.5 millimeters in stainless steel. This is a case size that originally launched as the GMT in the Planet Ocean series. A watch much more wearable than the original 45.5. You can see the timepiece measures 16.3 millimeters thick because it is a Planet Ocean after all, and 48.6 millimeters from lug to lug with a 21 millimeter spacing between the lugs. Throw it on the wrist real quick and you can see on my 16 centimeter circumference wrist, it's an interesting compromise between the original 42 and the 45.5, and I find it wears quite well. In terms of fit, it wears far easier on the wrist than the 43 millimeter Rolex Sea Dweller, so don't think of that as a comparable. I'd say the watch wears a little bit more like a 41 or a 42, and as you can see, it's probably too thick to fit underneath most cuffs, but with this shirt I'm wearing today, it's not a problem, so consider it a cinch for most sleeves and most jackets. I would say all jackets. As you can see, the strap, we'll talk a little bit about the hardware and the software, is a bi-material. You have a large rectangular scale navy blue alligator leather on the top with a contrasting silver stitch, and then you have natural vulcanized rubber underneath to separate it from the oils, moisture, sweat, heat, and grit of the wrist. There's a wonderful deployment clasp. Omega's been using it since at least 2005. It features a combination of polish and satin externally with a twin trigger release, so you have to depress both to open. It can't accidentally pop open. You actually tuck the strap underneath to size, and as you can see, once it's sized, all the excess length is under the clasp. There's no need for minder loops externally, keeping the look clean and orderly on the wrist. This is the Seamaster and the Speedmaster case we've come to know since 1964, with the lyre-style lugs that turn inward even as the outer faces turn outward, bevels that are polished and expand at the end of the case, and longitudinal satin finish. Here we have the helium escape valve for you saturation divers. If helium builds up during your saturation dive, you can open this, of course, and then when the internal pressure exceeds external by 2 to 3 bar, it will release the helium accumulated as you ascend, rather than blowing out the crystal and compromising the seals. It features a screw-down crown with a little bit of a shear guard profile, 600 meters water resistant. You can see that the bezel is a unidirectional diving bezel with a ceramic cap, and of course, let's hear the ratchet because that's part of the experience. It's mechanical, precise, and satisfying. A 120 click bezel. You can line it easily with the broad arrow minute hand, and now you have an impromptu 0 to 60 minute count-up timer. As you'll note, just below the cannon pinion at center, by the way, the ceramic highly scratch resistant, just below the cannon pinion at center, you can see zirconium oxide. The dial is made of the same material as the bezel insert. Scratch resistant, tarnish free, antioxidant ceramic. It's deep, glossy, and gleaming like enamel, but without enamel's vulnerabilities or expense. You have applique indices as well as tri-Arabic numerals, Omega logo, and marquee, and then you have broad arrow minute and hour hands, reminding you that back in 2005 when the Planet Ocean debuted, it, and not the yet-to-be-released Seamaster 300, was supposed to be the vintage cued line in the Omega Seamaster family. Now, you'll note when I pull the crown out all the way, I hack the balance, stop the seconds, and now I can set everything against a reference clock, for example, like an atomic clock online. But there's also an intermediate crown position that allows me to drive the hour hand independently while the watch keeps time, hours, minutes, seconds, while rotating the date in either direction while traveling east or west. Turn the watch over. This was the first generation master chronometer with the METAS certification among the Planet Oceans. We'll take a look at caliber 8900. 6 position adjusted and timed to meet and exceed the chronometer standards, not as a bare movement as with the COSC, but as a fully cased watch. The METAS standard, conceived in conjunction with the Swiss Federal Institute of Metrology, also includes anti-magnetism, winding efficiency, power reserve, water resistance. It's a full test of your chronometer grade watch. You'll also appreciate a longish 60-hour power reserve provided by twin mainspring barrels, which also help to supply even torque from max to min. So after 24 or 48 hours, this 39 joule movement isn't going to suffer the amplitude drop-off you get with a single barrel movement like, say, Tag Heuer or Rolex. Bidirectional winding for smoothness. There's a full balance bridge with a free spring index for shock resistance, and then a silicone hairspring for anti-magnetism. It beats away at the quirky coaxial specific 25,200 vibration per hour beat rate, and that's occasioned by the tri-level coaxial, which you can actually see just below my finger underneath its own bridge, a direct and indirect impulsing escapement with tangential contact. It reduces friction, improves chronometric precision, extends power reserves, and enhances the intervals between service. It's one of the main reasons Omega now offers 5-year warranties. Conceived by George Daniels and perfected by Omega, it is probably the most exotic escapement you can buy for under $50,000. And this is one of the most full-featured, durable, time-tested, and versatile dive watches you can purchase for under $10,000. Email tmosso@thewatchbox.com to take the plunge with the Planet Ocean. Stainless steel by day, blue and green by night. Note that the bezel pearl is differential, green like the minute hand to allow for easy reading at night.